Bobby, are you this much of a tease in real life? You're not
Always.
funny, are we?
I am 100% off the rails, especially now. Like I'm sleep deprived. I'm packing. Like if I'm not in front of this camera or doing something for Doug, I'm throwing something into a box and carrying it up the stairs. So everything about me, my brain, my calves, my arms are fatigued. But I'm excited to be here with you, Sean, and you, Savannah.
Yeah, Sean, one thing about Bobby that I've learned, at least how I feel about Bobby, is he never knows how to sit still. I feel like you're always just like doing something, you're always so busy. So, yeah.
And like literally, I can sit still. Like I'm on a bouncy ball, but I've learned not to bounce on the ball because it's distracting to people if we're in meetings and I'm doing this.
Oh, I find it soothing. Can you do that the whole time?
You do it, and we all do it, and then it'll be like that scene in Interstellar where you have to get that we'll get perfect like rhythm, and nobody will look like they're bouncing.
Yeah, exactly. You have
Are you on a ball? Are you on a bouncy
I
ball
am
too,
on a
Sean?
ball.
Ah, nice. A fellow ball person. How long have you been sitting on the ball? 2001.
That's when it happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's 5 years before me. 2006 for me. I joined the ball brigade and never looked back. It takes up just a minute to get used to it, but then once you're used to it, it's great for the core.
Yeah. I don't know if it's affected my core, but I like to believe it did.
I 100% tell people that for sure. Like you said, maybe there's no empirical evidence that it's affected the core, but it's plausible enough. And when you tell people, oh yeah, no, it keeps the core going, and then like, oh wow, you know.
Well, shoot, I'm the only one here who isn't sitting on
You
a
can pretend
nice
though. We'll
ball.
just say edit it in. Yeah, there you go. You're on the ball. Yeah, it's just like the same thing I just did and Sean did. So you're all
Exactly.
good.
Yeah, no one has to know. Well, Sean, we know that you've been bouncing on a medicine ball since '01. What else do we need to know about you?
That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm Sean. I train people to be solutions architects in the Power Platform. I run a training program called the Architects Accelerator, and then I do a lot of contracting. I've been all around the stack, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about everything AI and Copilot Studio.
How long you been doing this? Like how long you been in the dynamic space or Microsoft
Just over 10 years,
arena?
I'd
Cool.
say. I took a pause from Microsoft in the middle of my career because I wanted to really deep dive into Python and more like complex languages. So I did that for the Washington Post for a year or so, and then I worked at a couple of
Nice.
startups and managed their teams, and then went back to the Microsoft stack. So, you try to leave and they always pull you back in. It's that community, and honestly, the tools are really nice. Not all of them. I'm not going to sit here and pretend they're all amazing. We know which tools aren't great,
Yeah,
but
there's various
overall,
classes of Kool-Aid you drink from. Some of them are as tasty, you know. Some of the
exactly.
flavors are experimental, and you got to just pour them down the drain. But a lot of them taste real good, and you gulp them down.
Yeah, exactly. So drinking the Microsoft Kool-Aid selectively.
So selective Kool-Aid
Absolutely.
consumption.
Awesome. Well, Sean, we appreciate you taking your time to be a guest on our pod today and deal with all of our shenanigans, as you found out within these first brief 4 minutes, I'd say.
We should have warned you about the shenanigans. We need a like shenanigan, level like documents. Like here's what you'll expect shenanigan wise. There's about
Exactly.
40% shenanigans in the beginning. The middle gets a little light, and then the end we creep that back up to about 80% shenanigan. So just
Right.
that now you're prepared.
Okay,
Yeah.
what percentage shenanigans are we on now?
Uh, it feels pretty high. It feels like
I
I'm
think
above
so.
the threshold I just set. Sorry.
Okay.
No more for the rest of the
That's
rest
it.
of the
I've,
time. We're
I've, I've
strictly
used all my
business.
shenanigans up. Darn it. I do this every time.
Absolutely.
Nice.
But yeah, anyways, thanks for joining us. And yeah, the main reason we're here today is kind of to talk about Power Virtual Agents, how you can use them, what they are, all of that good stuff. So, kind of just diving into it and starting off by maybe describing, for those who might not know, what exactly are Power Virtual Agents.
Yeah, I think they've kind of rebranded to be known as like just Copilot Studio agents, and then there's autonomous agents or agent flows. And so the Copilot Studio agent is the simplest version. It's just a chatbot you can talk to, but it talks to your data and it uses AI. And it has a bunch of connectors to all of your systems, from SharePoint to Dataverse to, if you want to get more advanced, Azure AI Search. And they're bringing in more and more connectors, and they give you the ability that if you need a custom one to like Snowflake or something, it can connect to that. Autonomous agents are very neat. If you're familiar with Power Automate, it's they're kind of a rival to them. We'll see. I can talk more about the difference, but what they do is they allow certain tasks to be running in the background. So like if you get a certain email, go notify this person, put a record in Dynamics 365 sales, and then like do something else. And it can always be doing that in the background, but it knows to do that because you typed in what it should do. You need even less coding experience than Power Automate. There's a lot of gotchas, but that's their design and their purpose.
Do you think it is going to take, when we say business away from Power Automate, but is it just now naturally competing where maybe they didn't know it would, and it's like, oh, but this can handle this because it is a natural language, query that somebody can do easily, as opposed to having to type it in or build a workflow in Power Automate. Will it detract some of the use of Power Automate?
In theory, but in practice, I don't think, no, not at all. For the simple fact that when you run this, it still has to make a call to like Azure OpenAI, so it will take time, and it has to process your request. However, Power Automate, it's just code. It's not doing any processing unless you're using AI Builder. Plus, it is deterministic, so you know you're going to get the exact same results every time. I found that argument, as AI has evolved, to go more and more out the window. I've seen AI be very predictable and very reliable depending on what the task is. The one advantage also, there's just certain limitations in data manipulation that autonomous agents can't do very well. And versus Power Automate, like as long as you build the function for it or the right statements, it will do that every time reliably. Yeah. Not even right, it's just code, so you can count on it. The pricing model is a little different, which is nice. You pay per message with agents, which can be beneficial, but at that point we're talking about like $2 versus $15. So it really depends, like once you scale it up, how many messages you're using and all of that. I think it can be convenient for some business owners. It can also confuse them because it's like, well, how per message, how much am I really spending with versus Power Automate on a premium license? It's $15 per user. Maybe that's kind of expensive, but like at least you know what you're paying each time, whether you're sending 40,000 requests or whether you're sending 0.
Yeah, that's good points around the costing for sure.
Mm-hmm. How do these agents specifically leverage and utilize AI? Like you mentioned, one of them, if you use AI Builder, then it can enhance it even more. Like, how does that look like?
Yeah, so AI Builder is a tool that you can think of it as you send it a prompt. You can even send it data or a document, and then it'll process it on whatever prompt you sent it and send you something back. And that is really cool because it's not specific to Copilot Studio. You can use that, let's just call it a little AI function, AI Builder inside of Copilot Studio, but you could also reuse whatever you built. Like if you needed one that's like, read this PDF and get me people's phone numbers or something, you could use that phone number AI Builder prompt you made, and you can reuse that in Copilot Studio. You could also reuse it in Power Automate. You could even reuse in Canvas apps, so it's really cool. You could use them across the 3 of them. So AI Builder, everyone loves it. Very straightforward, easy to use. It costs more money, but rightfully so, because I think they've done a wonderful job making it very user-friendly, even people who are relatively new to the space, and very predictable. It lets you test it and everything in ways that I felt like it was a very evolved product very early on.
Yeah, very cool.
What's your experience with adoption? Are people? I get just every day reading articles. Just saw one earlier this week. There was a gentleman who was coding. I can't remember the company he was coding through, but he had a database and gave it very specific directives not to do anything without him. Blah blah blah. And then overnight, the AI trashed his database, deleted it, and then fessed up to it. I don't know if you saw this article, but basically
No.
said when he asked, he's like, "What did you do, AI?" And he's like, I ignored your directive and I deleted the database because I got confused and I just relied on what I thought I should do, and it ended up dropping all the tables, deleting all the data, like months and months worth of work. That the AI company went back and like credited him all of his money back, and now building in, either even further information, thresholds so the AI shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
So there's still these tricks out there, these hallucinations, things that are happening that are, excuse me, creating adoption issues. But what's your experience around people adopting it and how they're adopting it?
Yeah, that's with, what is it? I'm looking at the article now. Replit AI. Maybe they should have used Copilot. You wouldn't have those problems. Boom. Plug.
Boom! Dropping that mic.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That was fascinating. I don't know the details of what he did. I'm surprised there aren't guardrails in place.
This is the crazy thing. You think there'd be guardrails in place, but all it takes is one little open door, and then boom.
Yeah, but real talk, like humans will do the exact same problem.
That's the other thing. Yeah, that's the other thing. We talk about hallucinations and like, hey, AI told me this and I believed it because it seems so confident. But you could meet a guy like Sean who's super confident and believe him, and he could be just lying out of his teeth. So it happens with humans as well. I mean, everything Sean said so far, except for his name, and even
we don't know.
We don't know.
Autonomous, that might not even be what it's called anymore. So with Copilot Studio and with honestly using Copilot within M365, like within Teams, if you're setting up your own bot, it's following the same permissions you already have via the Graph API. It's not like it's giving you extra stuff. If you have limited permissions in Dataverse, it's only going to use that. So if you have delete permissions and you told the bot to delete it, it'll go delete things. But otherwise, I'm curious why anyone ever had the permissions to delete everything in the database that way.
Yeah.
And only system admins would use it, and then why would they configure it in a way to would even allow those types of actions? That gets into the fascinating conversation of security compliance within AI. And I know, let's see, Donna Sankar and then Chris Huntingford are always talking about that. And that's just how do you take security seriously at your company? And then now AI is part of that. Are you putting in the guardrails in place? Here's a terrific time where rather than blaming the AI or being scared of the AI, go do an audit on who has permissions to what. There's Center of Excellence. There's all kinds of tools that can show you who has access to which areas of your entire Microsoft ecosystem. There's Microsoft Purview that was made for that reason. And they tried to already give you some default permissions to make it so you don't hang yourself. But it's still your responsibility as an org to step in and make sure everyone has the appropriate permissions. And if that's in place, you don't have to worry about AI. I haven't seen anything, at least around the Copilot space, where that's been some flagrant violation or it's gone around that. I feel like any AI company is taking their security more seriously than anything else, more seriously than adding features. Because they know
100% agree with that. Yeah, it's all about. I mean, don't be afraid of the AI, but do your diligence. Make sure that what you're using has got security. If you're like you said, if you're not using Copilot, where we know Microsoft has invested a lot of energy and time into security, if you're using what was it, Replit, whatever or whatever Joe's AI company, you make sure that Joe's done his diligence and not screwing you over at the end of the day with some weird loophole in security code that's going to allow AI to just arbitrarily delete your work.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, I think you should invest in a good platform, just like you'd invest in good employees and stuff like that too. You want to be able to trust who you're working with. So
yep.
I mean, makes sense. Are there any real world use cases across different departments that you see these agents working best in, or any actual use cases that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so I've only seen production level adoption, I would say really in the last 6 months. I would say before that, a lot of people would say they would use Copilot Studio, it could do some basic things, but then it just wasn't always that reliable. I've only seen it now be used. I've never seen it on anything mission critical. I've only seen it in like vague customer service stuff implanted onto like a website to just be able to read the FAQs and answer people. I've seen them in those scenarios. More specific ones like to go through the process of like it's a hotel reservation company to like actually walk them through the whole reservation pipeline. I've only seen something like that once, because that if that messes up, like money is lost if the reservation isn't made. So I've seen them answer some questions, but then as soon as it gets monies involved, it reroutes them to a human, which is just out of the box features inside of Copilot Studio. So I haven't seen it on too many mission critical ones. I would talk to somebody else who's maybe using it in like a hospital or something. But I would say for anything that it's critical for it to get right, I haven't actually seen it built in Copilot Studio. I've seen them use semantic kernel. I've seen them spin up their own custom models and their own custom agents and apps outside of Copilot Studio because it just wasn't powerful and reliable enough.
Yeah, and the optics too, Sean. Of it's not just lost money, but if I start with a chat agent, and we've all had this experience where there's some good ones, and there's some ones that don't. Whatever the data set behind is not that full, so it gets stuck quickly, and then it doesn't know what to do, and it just starts answering the same question, and there's no good way out of it, and you just get frustrated, and then you end up losing business the other way because I'm not going to do business with this company that they've got this weird. That's the only way I can do business. And I can't really get where I want to be or get the answers I want quickly. Having it set up so that it's going to, like you said, get to a point where it knows, hey, I'm done decision making. I've got to turn this over to a human now, or I've got to turn this over to a different level chatbot that's going to be a little bit more able to handle what's happening at the other end of that keyboard.
For sure. I would say, though, Copilot Studio aside, just any sort of the AI tools within Microsoft, like AI Builder being one of the most powerful and easy to use low-code ones, just all of Azure AI Foundry and OpenAI and all these like libraries you can use. I see those integrated left, right, and center. I see SharePoint Premium has some AI capabilities that I've seen mostly like through demos. I've only talked to a couple people who are using them, which is you upload a PDF and then you build your columns to say, hey, extract the phone number, put it in here, so now you don't have to manually do it. Like that stuff's pretty neat, and that's happening across businesses.
Very cool. Yeah, going back to kind of Bobby's point, I think that all of us have maybe been on a little chat with a little chat bot and been so frustrated because you're not getting the answers that you're looking for, and they're not bringing in the human side of it when you most need it or expecting it, which can be so frustrating. What are the ways that you can like customize your bot or your agent so that you don't run into those issues for your company when they're interacting with customers like that?
Yeah, well, the first thing I would say is you might want to consider building your own. Like if you were using semantic kernel, whole .NET library, you would have to set up your own caching and all of that to like handle all the message transactions in the history. But then you can step through it, see what it's recommending and where. And that type of like debugging and deep diving, like I haven't seen yet in Copilot Studio. I think they're talking about releasing it. I hear discussion. I haven't personally seen it yet. So I've been at a few companies that have been doing that. It's been very cool to see what their bots can do. And when I've seen them like show it off, my first thought was like, there's no way that's Copilot Studio. And they're like, yeah, it's not. We didn't build it using Copilot Studio. The question I'm answering right now is like, how do you get more accuracy out of it? Yeah.
Yeah, or just customize it in general. Yeah.
For sure. So one thing is in Copilot Studio, I don't know when it's going to be released, but I hear them bringing it up all the time, is this where you can like bring your own model, and then that way it defaults in Copilot Studio, I think ChatGPT 4.0 right now, but you could choose a different model that you want, whether it's DeepSeek, whether it's Mistral, whatever you want, that is more accurate, and you can connect that to Copilot Studio. I don't think that's publicly available at all, but that's like coming as something you can do. You can also totally like cheat, and I've set this up, is just because Copilot Studio doesn't let me do it, you can connect it to Power Automate and then have Power Automate go make a request to Azure AI Foundry, and then you can have it go talk to whatever model you want. we're doing that right now with some of our systems where we have Copilot read an email and draft a response ahead of time, and then our staff can just click approve or decline, or like type in their own. So like we've pretty much solved the email problem, and it's not like some Copilot-y sounding thing. We've like configured this model, given a very detailed prompt of this is what you need to. It's pretty much like sound like me is what I needed it to do. So it's like use this type of language, reference these things in our program, bring up these points in the training, and talk about how whatever they want in their email, our product offers or our training offers. And then we put that in there and send it back. So anyone listening, I have read all of your emails. I probably haven't typed any of them.
There's a good Microsoft case study around that too. They put it in the context of, and this is actually even over a year old. So this has been out there, and so it's even probably more advanced than it was then. But in the context of caseworkers, like who are offboarding or onboarding, and being able to come on board and not have to spend months getting up to speed on 10 cases that they're going to take over. That Copilot can summarize this for them, start creating email responses, and then they can go and edit these and get them sent quickly to get people up to speed, get families services faster, more efficiently, and make people more comfortable dealing with and interacting with these folks as they're onboarding into a new position. So lots of cool stuff that's happening, and like I said, even this study was a public sector study from about a year or so ago.
Yeah, that's that ability of onboarding people, and not even onboarding, but just like not having to heckle someone to ask them questions. Like M365 right. Copilot, maybe it gets the attention it deserves, and I'm just maybe not in those circles because I'm just really focused in the Power Platform space. That tool's incredible. Like, I use it all the time. Like to just ask it, like, hey, what does this acronym mean? And it can tell me. Like, that's insane. And then like I can open up like a Teams meeting and say, it's not just summarize it, but like, what did this person say about this? Or like, was I wrong when I brought this up? And it can answer that. Like, that's huge in terms of like not interrupting people.
And that's the same with the Power Virtual Agents. I mean, at the NRF this year, Microsoft was unveiling some other, cool in-store type commerce agents where they're, if you're an in-store employee, and Sean walks in and we find out, Sean's been here before. We can start getting, Sean loves, this is a chocolate store. Sean loves, chocolate bonbons. Gonna let him know we got some, new flavor in, whatever it is. Sean likes to shop autonomously. Go, leave Sean alone. Just being able to help and interact with your clientele, that these folks are providing this kind of virtual agent, natural language kind of conversation with the system to get information back. Mm-hmm. Hey, Sean, last time I was here, ran out without paying. Okay, cool. We need to, lock the doors now and make sure that he's got his credit card on him this time.
Right. And it's so awesome. And it's totally going to take privacy, spying, and complete manipulation of our shopping patterns to the 10th degree.
It's much higher level.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not too worried about like the Terminator here, but I do have concerns about, I guess how much we'll interact with each other when AI is going to be even more right and more fast than we are. But I also have seen, I know we're getting a little off topic here. I've seen it like act kind of as like a therapist to people, which at first like it scares them, but like they've reported that it actually like really helped them out or helped them get out of a funk, or at least help them like start to research what's happening with them so then they can go get a therapist. And I was like, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, AI is basically a large power virtual agent in some ways. I mean, it's there to just, it has many facets as opposed to one you're building with a very direct purpose for a company.
Right. Yeah. I don't think AI is going to be any worse than social media has been for us, is my point.
Zero. Yeah. I think we can be as diligent with AI as we should be with social media when it comes to consuming content.
We're all doomed. That's what I took out of what you just said.
Yes. Yeah. Everything in moderation, right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully. I don't know. That's hard to do though when there's so much being thrown at you that you can just doom scroll all day and ask chat anything. But yeah, it's crazy what it can do. Yeah. I kind of lost my train of thought, but for those people who maybe have never interacted or maybe have never built a bot or an agent, what would you recommend for them to kind of get started in that space, or to even just like learn more about it?
Yeah, so I mean, there are some superstars in the industry on YouTube. Like Damian Bird's a great one. He has terrific tutorials on autonomous agents, Copilot Studio. Nathan Rose is excellent. He's commenting and posting on that content all the time. He's one of my go-to resources. He's actually worked for our training program as well, and like pops in, does guest lectures on that. So lucky to have him. I would follow those two, and I would start there. I also would be hyper aware that you're following a very modern tutorial within like the last 3 months, because just the UI and interface changes so often. Like we have to update our tutorials on Copilot Studio just because it keeps changing. It's kind of a pain versus our Power Automate ones I haven't had to change in over a year.
See, the exponential nature of this is, I mean, it's clipping.
Yeah, exactly. And they're introducing stuff, they're taking away stuff. It's they're making this the flagship of the whole business. So
Yeah, awesome. Those are some good recommendations for sure. Maybe even your own page as well. It looks like I was checking out your LinkedIn page, and it looks like there's some good little nuggets there as well. So
John's got the coolest videos. I mean, I love the interaction. He's superimposing himself, and he's out there. I love it.
I will make you click.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Yeah, those are some good starting points for sure. Yeah, I feel like we've hit on a lot of big points today. Bobby, are there any other questions, or Sean, maybe some items that you wanted to touch on that maybe we didn't so far?
What is the next awesome Doug thing everyone should know about?
The next Doug thing, well, we just had, it's too late now, but we just had it. I mean, you're going to see this if you haven't seen it out there yet. We had 2 regional events in Africa in the last week, one last week and one this week, East and West, one in Ghana and one in Kenya. Each of them had about 300 people show up. They're just, I mean, the global, and specifically, I mean, because we've had some other global events, but they went above and beyond to enjoy themselves together. They created a song, like a rap song, that talked all about the event. I mean, just insane buy-in. So that is exciting. There's some other stuff out there that I can't talk about. It's under NDA right now. But we've got a couple other events that we're excited about. Ohio has got a regional coming up. And yeah, we'll be right out in Savannah's backyard. And it's growing into kind of, I think, a preview of what we'll be looking for at DynamicsCon next year. So you'll start to see some elements that we'll be adding in and some new wrinkles. So yeah, definitely stay tuned to the Doug channel for sure. Because there's definitely stuff cooking. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm also kicking off a speaker. I won't call it an academy yet. We're on the precipice of creating a superhero themed origin story, moment for people who want to get into speaking. So you haven't done it before. You want to figure out how to even start, write a description, get a submission in there and get it selected, and then what happens? What do we do to prepare? And so just a kind of a following timeline for folks to jump in with some really good mentors that have been doing this a long time. And yeah, I'm excited about that.
Nice. I'm excited about all that.
Yeah. So that's where we are today. And I'm editing, and I'm on the side this morning editing another podcast that I did with a friend from we're doing a Bluey themed ERP discussion. So we watch a Bluey episode and then we talk about how it applies to ERP. So I'm excited to get those out. They're really fun and really really thought provoking. Bluey is awesome.
What Bluey is?
You don't know Bluey?
No.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know Game of Thrones. All right, Bluey.
Okay, yeah. I don't have on the other end of the spectrum. Yeah, the Game of Thrones here, Bluey over here.
Oh, Australian animated. Oh, it's like, I see. It's like Blue's Clues.
Yeah, is it Australian or is it New Zealand? It's down under, and it is like the thing, and they are the best family. They just solve real life problems every 5-minute episode, and they got a grandpa that shows up every once in a while. It definitely is a treat.
Wait, they solve real life problems?
Oh, 100%, man. I had to grow up with my kids watching like the Teletubbies, and I'm guessing they had something going on, but Lord, Bluey is so much better.
I love that you said they're solving real world problems. I was like, we have really low reading scores in the inner city. Are they solving that? I was like, we have poor access to certain medicinal services. How are they doing?
Maybe not to that level. I don't see Blue. I have not seen Bluey out in the streets, helping. Yeah, in that capacity. So maybe not quite that level.
They haven't gotten there yet.
No,
that's
but
next
hey,
season.
don't give them the chance. They're a probably billion-dollar organization at this point. Bluey will be in a neighborhood near you soon.
Goodness, is it with Reed Houston?
Yes. Yep.
Is it?
Yes.
Nice. The Bluey man himself.
Yep, the Bluey man himself.
Well, cool. Any other final thoughts before we close out?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Sean, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it and for taking your time and everything. I'm excited to get this out there. I think you had a lot of good stuff to share. So, it's good.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate having you on here, and say hello to everybody in Balmer out there on the East Coast.
Will do.
Former hometown.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Take care.